Big Sean's Control featuring Kendrick Lamar and Jay Electronica, produced by No ID. Now, let me just say what a lot of people haven't said out there yet. That fucking beat was crazy. Okay, everything that you've been hearing over the internet is Kendrick Lamar. Over the last 10 hours, he's been making Twitter go crazy because of what he said, and I will address that. But that beat was incredible. I can't tell what the sample in it was. I think I heard the girl or the kid in the background say something about Emmett Till. I'm not sure what it was, but the beat was incredible. Now, I'm on 2dopeboys.com, and, you know, right here it says that this isn't going to make the final cut for Big Sean's Hall of Fame album because of some sample clearance issues. And the way the internet has been taking this song, the direction in which they've pushed it, if you're Big Sean, I guess maybe that could be a good thing because he didn't take possession of this song. The internet has sort of just given it to Kendrick Lamar. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address Kendrick Lamar's verse. Okay? Now, in this song, he was very braggadocious. You could hear it in his voice. It sounded like he had laryngitis. He was very aggressive, different from the Kendrick that we're used to hearing. Now, in this song, he said, "I'm Machiavelli's offspring. I'm the king of New York, king of the coast. One hand, I juggle them both." Now, that's a huge statement. That is a huge fucking statement when somebody from California claims that they are the king of New York. As Joe Budden pointed out on Twitter, that's a huge disrespect if you're anybody, if you're any rapper from the East Coast and somebody who's not even from there is claiming that they are at the top of the food chain in the East Coast. And after he claimed he was the king of New York and the king of the coast, he juggles them both. He went on to say, "I'm usually homeboys with some of the niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and niggas know what time it is." And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mill, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler, Mac Miller. I've got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans have never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one noun or verb from you niggas. I'm going to read off some tweets last night that were fired off. And again, I'm on 2dopeboys.com, so I'll probably just put that shit in the description below. You guys know I don't do song reviews, so I'm just flying off the cuff here. Okay, Pusha T says, "I hear you loud and clear, my nigga." Diddy says, "Kendrick, oh shit." Killer Mike, "Love it. He stood up on niggas." Joe Budden, as I said, "A Cali nigga just said he's the king of New York and you niggas is so worried about your relationships. Y'all make me sick." Mac Miller, "If I can't do no more nouns and verbs, I'ma start coming with the wildest adjective bars that anyone's ever heard." Big Sean, "So mad at that song. Haha. Sheesh." And Joey Badass, "How can y'all niggas think I'm hating on Kendrick right now? Much respect to him for bodying everybody. This marks a new rap game. Know that. Haha." Okay, now that's what I want to ask you guys out there. Now, what Kendrick obviously did was he broke the fourth wall. He looked at the camera and he did something that most people don't do. Most people have verses where they take imaginary shots against imaginary opponents who, you know, they're addressing their contemporaries, but they don't want to ruffle any feathers and mention any names. Now, what he simply did was look at the camera and say, "I'm talking to you, Meek Mill. I'm talking to you, Drake. I'm talking to you, J. Cole. Tyler, the Creator." Nothing wrong with that, of course. I've always been an advocate in the competitive nature of hip hop, and that's what this seems like it is. It seems like it's coming from that very positive place. And you could only assume that it's coming from that positive place because Kendrick is in a position of where he can make these statements, which indicates that this isn't coming out of jealousy. It's not coming out of envy. It's not coming out of some promotional tool. This is just coming out of, hey, let's see who the better man is. So what I want to know is, who do you feel will take shots towards Kendrick first? Now, I will say that had he mentioned Joe Budden's name, or had Joe Budden's originally been from New York, there would have been a diss track out today by Budden. And that's what I've always loved about him. Who knows? He might just the fact that he's from Jersey, he might just, hey, guilty by association over here in the East Coast. Now I have to burden myself and insult Kendrick Lamar. I will say this. I am troubled by what the internet has done with this song, and it's the reason why I'm only addressing Kendrick Lamar's verse. People are shitting all over Big Sean's verse like it wasn't good or it wasn't decent. I actually enjoyed it. In fact, when I first heard the song, I bet you there's some of you out there that fast forwarded to Kendrick's verse. If you did, raise your hand. You're a dummy. I hate you. But anyway, when I first listened to the song, I was listening to Big Sean's verse, and I was overwhelmed that he was being ignored. And I could have only assumed that what was coming up was so earth-shattering that it dwarfed Big Sean's effort. Now, Jay Electronica's verse, obviously, if you say, for example, if you're doing stand-up and somebody gets up and they destroy the crowd, and maybe you might be the closer that night, but the guy who had just come before you killed the whole fucking venue. And that's a tough act to follow. Plus, his verse was considerably shorter than both Kendrick and Big Sean's. But anyway, I'd like to know what you guys feel out there about what this is going to bring forth. Don't give me something vague like, oh, he raised the bar. Listen, don't be a sheep and don't use the language that Kendrick is using in his verse, because then you're just becoming a drone. Give me your opinion on how you feel. What will this beget? Will this bring about a competitive nature? Will this, change that stigma that people always seem to have when it comes to competition within hip hop, where they always say things like, well, people should just focus on making music because it's counterproductive to insult each other, even at a competitive level. I mean, people seem to forget, like, I'll use a silly example. People seem to forget, like, say a silly movie like the House Party franchises, the House Party franchises, and even Class Act. Now, Kid and Play were goofy as fuck. They were juvenile. And you notice that anytime that they were performing, they were battling. Even at that level of, this drug-free sort of a movement that they had going on, this positive movement, very colorful. There was still the competitive nature to what they were doing. So that's what I'd like to know, with the stigma now that the prodigal son, if that's what you want to call him, the golden child, has now said, I want this competition. Step up. Who's ready to take this from me? Because I am claiming that I am this and I am that. Who's going to step up and take it from me? And it doesn't have anything to do with record sales. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else except for just skill. So what do you guys think? I'd like to know. Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you'd like to hear any more of podcasts such as this one, you can subscribe to my podcast channel in the description below. And I will see you assholes next week.